A consistent innovator, Taiwan continues to display its competitive edge. A leader in economy and industry, looking for dynamic talents to support its already existing key industries, semiconductors, information and communications technologies, photovoltaic, financial services, electrical machinery, automobile components and auto electronics, and emerging industries including biotechnology, medicine and healthcare, green energy, tourism, culture and creativity, high-end agriculture, and emerging intelligent industries such as cloud computing, intelligent electric vehicles, intelligent green buildings, and patent industrialization.
The industry in Taiwan is one of the fittest in the world to adjust itself to a new market niche.
There is that entrepreneurial atmosphere here, and it's throughout everything. So even some of the very large publicly listed companies started out as small to medium enterprises, and there's a lot of that positive energy and real dynamism here in Taiwan.
Taiwan is a very good first step for Far East Asia, I think, because of its cultural diversity and also its proximity to the other Asian countries.
There's enough of the Western comforts that you still don't feel too far from home, but yet there's a lot more to experience that you wouldn't experience in Europe.
Taiwan offers you a much broader opportunities. Like eTree, we cover the full spectrum of technologies. The prime goal is to take technologies from outside together with the results of our own R&D development, so we can package those solutions and make it possible for the companies to commercialize those. And the fact that I worked outside Taiwan for the last 30 years, working for a major international company, that gives me the networking background, both in terms of people and also in terms of understanding the global markets.
We are sitting here at the One Horse Sports Center. I think that is a very good example of projects that I do in Taiwan. This was the first building actually using a European low energy standard to build a building in a very different climate. I worked as a bridge bringing new concepts or new technologies from Europe to Taiwan and look for partners to localize these technologies. I'm also the chairman of the Energy and Environmental Committee of the European Chamber of Commerce and Trade in Taipei. Being involved in the ECCT is, I think, one of the most important opportunities or channels or platforms for foreigners, especially European companies and investors, to get involved in Taiwan.
One of the things that I was impressed with when I came to Taiwan was the degree of access that trade groups and organizations do get with the government here. Every year, the American Chamber of Commerce, the European Chamber of Commerce, other chambers of commerce provide papers in which they identify issues of concern for industry, and the government really responds to those. In my particular practice area of intellectual property, the major intellectual property laws have been revised several times in the period of time that I've been here.
The organism that is the Taiwanese industrial base is formidable. The cross-pollination of ideas between industries is probably, it really makes the island completely unlike anywhere else in the world.
My experience of working with Taiwanese people is very positive because we really think as a team. We try to build something together. Taiwanese people are very conscientious and determined in their work. If they like something, they will really explore it, try to find the best way.
Over the last 5 years working with Taiwanese people, I found them to be very well educated. They're always very, very friendly, very open, very easy to work with.
I think that Taiwan is the best place to learn Chinese. It's very welcoming, it's very encouraging. And I think that that's what you need when you're learning a language.
Language is one of the very important keys to open this culture. And Taiwan is very open. Even if you don't speak any Mandarin, you just say ni hao and xie xie. People are already very grateful.
Taiwan's got an amazingly broad cross-section of things that can interest a large number of people. Personally, at the weekends you'll find me up in the hills, up to my knees in mud, mountain biking and hiking. Around Taipei it's surrounded by mountains. We've got the South China Sea with tropical waters to the south. We've got 4,000-meter high peaks and dense forest across the whole island.
In terms of a tourist destination, it's not really tapped. Once you head out of Taipei, head down south, it's really, really local, very naturally beautiful. It's like our own little secret out here, you know.
I personally think that Taiwan is a great place to live. It was a place that I really connected to, where I felt I could actually plant some roots. In terms of the food, that's something that I've absolutely loved about Taiwan. I'm eating fresh fruit all the time. Here in Taiwan, there's a great diversity of food that's locally produced. And then you have a real food culture.
One of my main interests in life is playing football, so I've been very happy to be able to continue that here. We were lucky enough to win the Chinese League twice in the last 3 years, and we've also had a couple of high-profile friendlies against the Taiwanese national team, which is something I thought I'd never be able to do. In playing that, one of the things that happened to me is I tore my cruciate ligament. The one thing that came out of that was an appreciation for the Taiwanese health service. I was able to get an MRI scan within 1 week at a cost of what would translate to 20 euros. The standard of the service is really world class. The doctors are all very, very professional, deal with you very quickly. The hospitals are extremely clean. It's really, really top class.
We have the European school now, so it's possible to give the children education where they can go back to Europe, Germany, France, England, anywhere, and pick up where they left their studies in Taiwan.
Life in Taiwan is so convenient. I think you cannot even imagine it before you experience it. For example, transportation, you have the MRT, buses, and even taking a taxi is very cheap.
We have a lot of meetings in Kaohsiung, in the southern port of Taiwan, where it takes the high-speed train. It takes me 1 hour 50 minutes. I will have a meeting there. I'll be back with my daughter in the early evenings.
Where there are restaurants and convenience stores and anything that you could possibly need that are open all sorts of hours, all within a couple city blocks. The first time I went to the Esleep bookstore that is open 24 hours, I thought, wait, this is a city that I can really spend some time in.
You have an easy card where you can pay for the MRT, you can pay for the bus, you can use it to buy things in the grocery store. You can go to your local 7-Eleven or Family Mart and you can go ahead and pay for your phone, credit card, electricity bill, all in the one location. You know, it's that kind of joined up thinking that we aspire to in the West that they actually implement here in Taiwan. And it's very impressive.
I think it's not only shaped my career thus far, but what I see is that my career stretching out in front of me will be based on the experiences that I'm having today here in Taiwan as Asia develops. I think Taiwan will play an absolutely critical component in that.
One thing I think has changed in the past few years is with the direct flights to China. Taiwan has become a much more attractive place to manage a regional role.
Taiwan has to continue innovate, and that is the sort of driving force for us to look for new ideas, new concepts, and new people. This is what the HiRecruit is about. We need the right people.
One click changes your career forever. HiRecruit.nat.gov.tw